With our local and state partners, we've gone through and done a sweep to identify anything that we thought was suspicious, and we have not. However, as I said before, if the public sees something, please reach out to us. That way we can go through and verify that we did not miss anything. But we conducted initial sweeps, I think, starting shortly after our initial
Yes, I'm going to thank you, Agent. I do want to share that we have a plan, and we have been implementing that plan. One of those plans is that we have swept all of these areas. The word swept means we have put officers out there as a grid, walking down the streets, every street in the French Quarter, looking for suspicious packages, bags, ice chests, you name it. And they have been walking it as a grid. We've been doing the same thing on Poydras and all the accesses into the Superdome. Part of the safety plan is we have bomb dogs out there sweeping the Superdome and all the exterior area, and we're locking that down. That will be locked down through the game tomorrow. So that's a part of that safety plan, and we've already been implementing it.
Okay, thank you all for coming out.
Question back here from the governor on the MPs. How many MPs will be deployed to New Orleans?
Right now, there's I think it's General Freelo, 100? 100. 100, and, yeah. All right, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
What gives you the confidence tomorrow night it'll be safe riot?
I'm going to be there.
Yes, but you're also saying you're making improvements. Or what?
Press conference in New Orleans in the face of New Year's Day tragedy. That's the only way to describe it. I want to summarize what we heard. The most important description came from Althea Duncan, the assistant special agent FBI in charge, saying that there are a range of suspects still being pursued by federal, state, and local authorities. That means that the terrorist so designated by the local and federal official Shamsud Din Jabbar, who drove a truck into the French Quarter, killing at least 10, injuring 35, did not act alone. Also, the two New Orleans police officers who engaged, two of the three who engaged in firing at the suspect, killing him at the scene, were wounded. They remain in good condition and will survive. The death toll may rise. The Attorney General for Louisiana said several of those injured in this vehicular attack are, quote, fighting for their lives. Also, the Sugar Bowl, due to kick off 7:45 p.m. local time tonight, has been postponed for 24 hours. That is, I think, the biggest summary of what we heard. Nicole Sganga, what else jumped out at you?
The headline that the FBI is pursuing associates aggressively should not be lost on viewers, that the police here believe the suspect did not act alone, and said that quite confidently, Major. We also learned that the suspect here was an Army veteran, that investigators believe he was honorably discharged. My associate, Pat Milton, has also reported this individual was driving a Ford Lightning, an electric truck. That is new information, perhaps speaks to how quiet that vehicle was and how high-powered, high-charged it was. Also learning about some of the safety measures that have been put in place in the days and weeks ahead. The governor there saying that he has signed an emergency declaration he was intending to put into place tomorrow ahead of the Super Bowl and Mardi Gras. Now that is happening today. He has activated the military police company in addition to this, and I think, Scott McFarland can speak more to this, but it was interesting to learn about the bollards that were malfunctioning there and some of the precautions that police had perhaps put into place that did not live up to, expectations, and certainly in this case did not prevent this tragedy from happening.
Scott McFarland and Kirkpatrick, the police chief in New Orleans, saying they had a plan. The terrorists defeated it by driving up on the sidewalk and hurtling that vehicle down Bourbon Street.
Yeah, they didn't raise this issue unsolicited. They were asked questions about the bollard issue. We reported this morning that there's a bollard reconstruction project that's been underway for months now in New Orleans to get those things rebuilt and modernized from what they were a decade ago before the Super Bowl, which is there about a month from today. That project was incomplete. The bollards were, in fact, not fully functioning, and then they had alternative plans, the police cars, police officers, which may not have quite the capability or capacity of an actual security bollard. That project still needs to be completed, and they seem to be bullish on it getting done before the Super Bowl, but certainly wasn't ready for last night. But it wasn't just the law enforcement saying that there are likely accomplices. You heard that echoed by the other speakers at this news conference. It was Senator Kennedy who said it's wise to postpone the Sugar Bowl 24 hours. In his words, there's too much we don't know, and that it's just not worth it having it tonight. That may not instill a lot of confidence in the people of New Orleans right now, but he's certainly echoing what the FBI said. Also, the Congressman Troy Carter said there are cowards responsible for what happened this morning. And then the police chief saying, we have a plan. We're going to get these people. You hear the echoes of multiple people responsible.
Nicole, to your point, this is a multifaceted investigation. Joining us now on the phone, CBS News producer Elizabeth Campbell. She is at the Airbnb the attacker rented in New Orleans before this tragic homicidal event. Elizabeth, what can you tell us?
Well, Major, this is still an active scene that is ongoing. We have officials from FBI, from Bomb Squad, from HSI, Fire Department are all here. There is believed to potentially be more explosive in the house. They are waiting to figure that out. They're waiting for a search warrant to go in and confirm that. Out of a caution, they have evacuated all the residents in this residential area and the blocks surrounding that house. This is not how anyone want to be spending their New Year's Day. They're all stuck waiting. We saw one person who was trying to get back in to get their medication, but because the police don't know what is inside that house where the attacker was staying, they're not letting anyone back in yet. Everyone is still very much on edge, waiting to figure out what is inside there.
Elizabeth Campbell, thank you very much. Samantha Vinograd, CBS News national security contributor and former assistant secretary for counterterrorism at the Department of